Celtic held a crucial transfer summit on Friday with huge decisions looming in the January window. Leeds have made it clear Joel Piro isn't going anywhere. Julian Araujo's revealed who convinced him to join the club, and we've got the inside story on why a transfer deal wasn't actually hijacked. Plus, a shocking revelation about a summer signing Brendan Rodgers was desperate to get. It's been a massive 24 hours at Celtic Park, but first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic held a Friday transfer summit according to Record Sport, with Chief Executive Michael Nicholson and Chief Financial Officer Chris Mackay meeting manager Martin O'Neill at Lennoxtown today. The meeting comes at a key point in the January window, with time beginning to tighten. Focus has grown on how the club intend to move forward. The talks were held at the training ground rather than in the boardroom. That points toward immediate football matters rather than longer-term planning. O'Neill has already spoken about the need for additions as the season reaches a demanding stage. Celtic have moved through much of the window with limited activity. Only one signing has been completed so far, which has increased attention on the next steps. The summit reflects that growing sense of urgency. O'Neill has been open about the challenges of January recruitment. He's acknowledged the pressure while also pointing out how difficult deals can be. This meeting suggests those discussions are now being sharpened. Michael Nicholson's presence underlines the importance of the moment. As chief executive, he oversees the broader direction of the club. His involvement shows that decisions are now being handled at the highest level. Chris Mackay's role in the meeting was financial rather than footballing. Appointed as Chief Financial Officer in December 2021, he's responsible for budgets and spending limits. Any transfer plans would likely need his input before progressing. That financial angle matters in this window. Celtic have been careful with their approach, favouring loans and short-term options so far. Balancing cost with need remains central to the process. The timing of the summit is significant. Celtic have important matches ahead, and O'Neill has already said the immediate fixtures come too soon for new arrivals. The focus has therefore shifted to the days that follow. Next week has been identified as the period where movement is hoped for. That makes this meeting an important step in aligning plans. Football needs and financial limits have to meet quickly. Celtic's priorities are clear. The squad has been stretched in certain areas, and goals have not always come easily. Addressing those issues has become more pressing with each game. Now for the main story, as Celtic News exclusively understands from a club source at Leeds United that Joel Piro is not actively seeking a move away during the January window. The update follows growing interest from Celtic and ongoing debate around how Leeds may reshape their forward line. It offers clarity on the player's own stance rather than market speculation. Piro has been linked with a move north in recent weeks as Celtic continue to look for added firepower. Reports elsewhere have suggested different deal structures, including the idea of a loan. This latest information places a clear line under how Leeds and the player currently view the situation. Leeds return to the Premier League this season with clear priorities around stability and squad depth. Every decision is being weighed carefully, both on the pitch and away from it. That has shaped how potential exits are handled, especially in attacking areas. For Celtic, the striker search has involved checking availability rather than pushing a single option. Piroe's name has stayed in the frame due to his past scoring record and current role. This update, however, suggests movement would only come under specific conditions. A club source at Leeds United told Celtic News, Joel Piro has indicated he wishes to fight for his place and prove himself in the Premier League, and the club have no intention of forcing him to leave. Should circumstances change, a loan move is unlikely to suit any party. The message from Leeds is that Piro remains part of their plans. His desire to stay and compete has been made clear internally. That stance removes the idea of an easy or short-term solution. From Leeds' point of view, player exits must make sense on every level. A loan does little to change their position, either financially or in terms of squad balance. That's why the door has not been opened to temporary deals. This position also reflects how Piro sees his own career. He arrived in England to test himself at the highest level and doesn't want to step away at the first challenge. Staying put allows him to push for minutes and make his case on the training ground. Celtic now have clearer information to work with as the window moves on. Interest alone will not be enough if circumstances remain unchanged. Any shift would require a change in stance from either the player or the club. The update does not rule out movement later in the window, but it does narrow the conditions. Leeds are not shopping the player and are not looking to persuade him to go. That alone makes any deal harder to progress. In other news, Julian Araujo has opened up on the conversations that helped shape his decision to join Celtic during the January window. The defender arrived with little time to settle, but he's already spoken about feeling comfortable with the move. His comments were shared on the club's official Instagram channel. Araujo joined Celtic looking for minutes and momentum after a stop-start period elsewhere. The right-back has already been involved in key matches since arriving and has begun to adapt to the demands of Scottish football. Off the pitch, he leaned on people who knew the club well. Celtic's reputation was not something Araujo needed explained to him. The club's history and reach were already familiar before talks became serious. What mattered more was hearing directly from players who had lived the experience. Those conversations played a central role in his thinking. Speaking to current and former teammates helped him understand what daily life at the club would be like. That insight helped remove doubt at a crucial point. He said, "I think everybody knows about Celtic, and they are globally known. They're a historic team and a historic club. I have spoken to my teammates at Bournemouth, such as Ryan Christie and Ben Gannon-Doak. I think it was all of the good things that they had to say about the club. It is a family-like team that is related to my values. I feel like it was the right choice for me. Before I arrived here, I spoke with Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty, having that American side of me." Araujo's comments give insight into how much player-to-player advice still matters in modern moves. Hearing from Ryan Christie, who enjoyed a long spell in Glasgow, carried weight. Ben Doak's more recent experience also offered a clear picture of the environment. The defender also pointed to the importance of familiar voices from the United States. Cameron Carter-Vickers has been a key figure at Celtic for several seasons. Austin Trusty's own move to the club provided a fresh reference point. Those links helped Araujo settle quickly after arriving. Joining mid-season can be difficult, especially in a new country. Having people he trusted to speak to made that process smoother. On the pitch, Araujo has already shown signs of what he can bring. He's featured in league matches and handled different tests in a short space of time. That early involvement reflects the trust placed in him. In other news, journalist David Friel has revealed that Celtic sources have dismissed claims that Sunderland hijacked a move for Jocelyn Tarbee, with the winger completing his switch to the English club earlier today. The update comes after days of speculation linking Celtic closely with the player. Reports elsewhere had suggested the deal was taken out of Celtic's hands late on. Tarbee had been widely discussed as a possible January addition, as Celtic looked to add options in wide areas. His name gathered pace as the window moved on, and pressure grew on the club to deliver new faces. That background fueled claims that Celtic had lost out at the final stage. Sunderland's move for the player was confirmed earlier today, bringing clarity to his immediate future. The timing of that announcement led to renewed focus on Celtic's role in the process. It also prompted questions about how close the Scottish champions really were to completing the deal. According to Friel, the picture being painted elsewhere does not match what Celtic are saying behind the scenes. Club sources have pushed back strongly on the idea of a late intervention by Sunderland. Instead, the decision is said to have rested on fitness and short-term planning. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the January transfer window. See you in the next one.